It's really wild how fast AI has just jumped into, well, everything. You hear about it constantly.
Yeah, it's moved from like science fiction concepts to actual tools people are using daily.
Exactly. And not just in the obvious places. Today, we're going to dig into something maybe a bit surprising, how generative AI is being looked at in retail commercial real estate.
Right. And what's fascinating is seeing this, very cutting edge tech being considered by a really established industry. We're not just talking small tweaks here. This could genuinely change how retail properties are well handled.
For sure. And we've got this great report looking specifically at Wulfe and Co. They're a big name, been around 40 years, managed something like, what, 7.2 million square feet of retail
Right,
space?
right. A major player.
So our mission today is basically to pull apart this report, figure out the key stuff on how generative AI, things like GPT-4 for text, DALE for images, how they could actually help a veteran company like Wulfe and Co. grow, maybe even find new ways of doing things.
It's interesting, isn't it? Focusing on a firm that's already successful. But I think that's the point, seeing how even companies with deep, deep expertise can potentially use these new tools to get an edge. It's about augmenting what they already do so well.
Totally agree. It's not about replacement, it's enhancement. So if you're listening and you want to get a handle on a really forward-thinking use of AI, something that gives you a shortcut to understanding where real estate and tech might be heading, you're in the right spot.
Definitely. We're going deep into this report on Wulfe and Co.
Okay, so let's start at the beginning. When we talk about generative AI in commercial real estate, what does that actually mean?
So basically, generative AI is about algorithms creating new stuff. Texts, images, designs that feels like a human made it. It's different from, say, analytical AI, which is more about finding patterns in data that already exists.
Right, analyzing versus creating.
Exactly. And, ChatGPT really blew things open. Suddenly, millions of people saw AI writing, like decent text. Now these models can do realistic pictures, code, all sorts of things.
And this isn't just talk, right? The report says adoption is really picking up steam.
Oh, absolutely. We're talking potentially $110 billion in global spending on generative AI this year. That's huge.
Wow.
And in the commercial real estate world, the CRE space industry leaders are ranking AI, specifically generative AI, as like top 3 most impactful technologies for the next few years.
Top 3. That's serious.
It is. You've got major firms like JLL actually building their own internal AI, JLL, GPT they call it, for their employees. That's a big
Yeah,
commitment.
building your own system. That really says something. And wasn't there a quote from NVIDIA's CEO, Jensen Huang?
Yeah, he said something like, generative AI is reshaping industries and opening up new innovation. Pretty strong words from someone at the heart of the tech.
Definitely. So the big picture is transformation.
That seems to be the consensus.
Yeah.
Deloitte says the industry's at a pivotal moment for adopting this stuff. That JLL survey you mentioned, AI right at the top. And interestingly, investors and developers seem maybe more bullish on AI right now than other hype tech like blockchain or VR.
Huh. That is interesting. I might have expected VR, especially, to be getting more traction in property.
I think it speaks to how immediately useful generative AI feels. Mike Getty over at CBRE Europe put it nicely. AI can streamline workflows, build efficiency. The report really hammers this point. AI could change property acquisition, management, leasing, marketing, the whole life cycle.
Okay. Potential is clear. But let's get concrete. What are some actual real-world examples happening now in CRE?
All right, good question. So data analysis is a big one, that JLO GPT thing we mentioned. It lets their brokers ask questions directly to their internal data.
Like what kind of questions? Like,
Show me emerging retail hotspots in Houston. And instead of digging through reports, they get a synthesized answer in seconds based on all of JLL's data. Their CTO, Jan Morin, talks about delivering faster, smarter insights because of it.
okay, that's basically like a superpowered research assistant on tap. That's cool. What else?
Lease and document review. This is huge. Imagine staring at a 100-page lease.
Oh, yeah. Been there.
Right. So JLL is using AI that can, conversationally interrogate these documents. An agent could ask, find all leases with X co-tenancy clause, and boom, there's the answer. McKinsey also noted these tools can summarize key terms, generate tables, saves hours of painstaking work.
Okay, that's not just finding words, that's understanding the legal stuff. That's a massive time saver and probably reduces errors, too.
Exactly. Then you've got chatbots for service. You see things like Leasy AI in residential leasing, handling communications.
Ah, like answering prospective tenants' basic questions.
Precisely. And Raj Singh from JLL Spark said generative AI is finally good enough to actually offload work from agents.
Mm.
So think about retail. A chatbot on a mall's website answering questions about available units, maybe even scheduling deliveries after hours.
Yeah, 247 answers for the common stuff. Frees up the human team for the complex issues. Makes total sense. What about marketing, the creative side?
Definitely making inroads there, too.
Mhm.
GBT4 and similar tools can auto-generate property listings, brochures. Companies like Opendoor and Zillow are already doing this for houses.
Right, I've seen some of those descriptions.
So apply that to commercial. Polished brochures, press releases for a new development, even brainstorming brand names for a shopping center. It's all possible.
So faster marketing materials, maybe even more consistent quality.
Okay, and one more. Design and visualization. AI can do virtual staging for empty shops or generate test fit illustrations.
Like showing a potential tenant what their store could look like?
Exactly. McKinsey mentioned visualizing apartment styles. Architects are starting to use AI to suggest layouts based on, say, customer flow data. Imagine showing a potential bakery tenant a realistic render of that empty space as their shop. That's powerful.
Wow, yeah. Especially for smaller tenants who might struggle to visualize it, that could really seal the deal faster.
Totally. And remember, this isn't sci-fi. Big firms are piloting this now. EY analysts even noted Gen AI can help with big challenges like finding good staff and keeping costs down.
So the trend is definitely towards more capable, easier to use tools.
Right. Cloud APIs, SaaS models,
Mm-hmm.
it's becoming more accessible. Now, there are challenges, of course, data privacy, accuracy, training people.
Sure, it's not magic.
No. But as McKinsey put it, it's a fresh chance for real estate to really be on the cutting edge of tech.
Okay, great overview of the landscape. Now, let's zoom back in on Wulfe and Co. The report lays out specific opportunities for them using this pain point AI solution benefits structure. Let's tackle the first one, AI for market research and site selection. What's the pain point there?
Well, the report points out that for Wolf's teams doing tenant representation or looking at new developments, analyzing all that market data, demographics, traffic, competitors, it's super labor intensive, takes a ton of time.
Right, manual number crunching.
Exactly. And there's always a risk you miss something important
Hmm.
or the analysis is kind of stale by the time it's done.
Okay, so that's the problem. What's the proposed AI fix?
They suggest a market intelligence co-pilot. Basically, an AI trained on Wolf's own data plus third-party sources. So their team could ask really complex questions like, what are the top 5 underserved areas in Texas for a premium grocery store? And get an answer fast.
An instant answer based on all that data.
Pretty much. You can analyze text, reports, generate heat maps, visualize the opportunity.
Okay, the benefit seems obvious, speed. But what else?
Big benefits. Faster site analysis, yes, but also likely better decisions because they're more data-driven. They could give clients solid, backed-up recommendations in days, not weeks. The AI might even spot non-obvious opportunities.
Patterns humans might miss.
Potentially.
Yeah.
So better success rate for new locations, and it frees up their skilled researchers to think more strategically, talk to clients.
Right, letting the humans do the high-level thinking. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Let's move to the second one, automated property marketing content. What's the headache Wulfe faces here?
Well, they manage a lot of properties, right? So creating brochures, listings, emails for every single one is just repetitive and time-consuming for their marketing team.
Especially with a lean team, I imagine.
Exactly. Keeping the brand voice consistent, getting stuff out quickly. It's tough. Delays here can mean properties sit vacant longer.
Yeah, that's lost revenue. So how does AI help?
The idea is a custom GPT-4 tool. You feed it the key, property details, size, location, tenants, whatever, for, say, a 150,000 square foot center in Sugar Land.
And it just writes the marketing copy?
Yep. Polished descriptions, flyers, even press release drafts. It could adapt the tone for like different types of tenants, suggest taglines.
Okay, that sounds incredibly useful. What are the payoffs?
Huge speed increase in getting listings marketed, shorter vacancy times, better brand consistency. You can personalize materials easily, one version for fashion retailers, another for restaurants. And again, it frees up the marketing team to focus on strategy, not just churning out copy.
Okay, speed and consistency plus personalization. Got it. Next up, virtual design and space planning. What's the issue here?
The report notes that getting architects involved early for design concepts or test fits is expensive and slow, especially just to show a potential tenant an idea.
Right, you don't want to spend thousands just for an initial sketch.
And for smaller tenants, it can be hard for them to really see the potential in an empty box.
So making design visualization easier, faster, cheaper, how does AI do that?
Image generation AI, like we talked about virtual staging for empty units, or taking specs and generating potential floor plans. You could show that empty storefront rendered as a cool boutique bakery almost instantly.
Okay, so not just empty space, but
Yeah,
showing the possibility.
exactly. And for Wolf's own development side, they could quickly generate and compare multiple site plan concepts based on different parameters.
That seems super valuable. What are the main advantages listed?
Cost-effective creativity, massive speed boost, makes pitches to tenants way more persuasive, allows rapid iteration on new project ideas, might even lead to better designs by evaluating more options early, maybe catching flaws before they become expensive mistakes. Plus, it shows clients they're innovative.
Okay, fourth opportunity. An intelligent chatbot for tenant and client communication. What's the pain point Wulfe needs to solve?
It's the sheer volume of routine questions going to property managers and leasing agents. Basic lease questions, maintenance requests, stuff like that. Handling it all by phone and email eats up time, and there's no support after hours.
Yeah, the classic answering the same question 10 times a day problem.
Right. Plus, just getting basic info about properties isn't always easy for clients.
So the solution is a chatbot. How would that work?
A conversational AI assistant on their website, maybe other platforms too. Trained specifically on Wolf's data, FAQs, lease details, tenant handbooks. It could answer common questions 204/7.
Like, are there any 2,000 SQF spaces in Houston with a drive-through?
Exactly. Or an existing tenant asking, how do I schedule an after-hours delivery? The bot handles it instantly.
Okay, the benefits seem pretty clear. Better service, less burden on the team.
Absolutely. 247 responsiveness, better service quality, saves the team huge amounts of time for higher value work, ensures information is always consistent. Plus, Wulfe gets insights from analyzing the questions people ask, and it can capture and qualify leads automatically.
Right, data on what people are looking for. Very useful. Okay, last specific use case. Lease document analysis and deal summaries. What's the challenge here?
This is about tackling those dense legal documents leases, LOIs, pulling out the key terms, making sure nothing critical is missed. It's tedious and high stakes.
Yeah, overlooking one clause could be incredibly costly.
Precisely. And then manually creating summaries for internal teams or clients takes time, and humans can make mistakes, especially when deals are moving fast.
So, accuracy and efficiency under pressure. How can AI help with legal docs?
A generative AI tool designed to read, understand, and summarize these documents. It could spit out a concise one-page abstract of the crucial terms. You could ask it specific questions like, what's the rent escalation in year 5 for tenant X? Or which tenants in center Y have category exclusivity?
Wow, so it's read and digested everything.
Pretty much. Yeah. It could even generate these summaries automatically whenever a new lease is uploaded, like an expert assistant who never misses a detail.
Okay, the benefits there seem massive.
Huge risk reduction, major time savings in contract management, faster, better informed decisions because the key info is right there, easier onboarding for new staff, better compliance checks, could even be a value-add service for Wulfe's clients.
So across these 5 areas, research, marketing, design, comms, documents, AI offers really targeted solutions. But the report talks about broader strategic benefits too, right? Beyond just fixing specific problems.
Exactly. It frames AI adoption as more than just a tech upgrade. It's a strategic move. One big one is operational efficiency and cost reduction, obviously.
We touched on that with the automation.
Right. Automating routine stuff. The report hints at potential time and labor cost cuts of maybe 20–30%. McKinsey found companies using AI saw NOI net operating income jump over 10% from efficiency gains. AI becomes a force multiplier for Wulfe's team.
Getting more done with the same people.
And faster responses, faster deals mean less vacancy time, which hits the bottom line directly.
Makes sense. What's another big strategic plus?
Enhanced decision-making. Wulfe is known for market knowledge, right? AI can amplify that. It's great at finding subtle patterns and complex data that people might miss.
Like spotting micro trends.
Yeah, or identifying, say, heating or cooling submarkets faster. EY mentioned AI rapidly scanning data for concerns. It's like a due diligence super assistant. Better decisions, more confidence for tenants and owners. Avoiding costly mistakes by flagging red flags early, maybe even poor online sentiment about a potential tenant.
Okay, so smarter choices, less risk. What about how they interact with clients?
Big impact there. Improved client experience and service differentiation. AI means 247 responsiveness via chatbots, faster turnarounds, It also allows for personalization at scale. Imagine quickly creating tailored property tour packages for different client types.
Mass customization.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
Better quality, more consistent client materials, and just using AI signals innovation, which is a selling point itself, especially with bigger clients.
So it helps them stand out. Are there other strategic angles?
Definitely. Innovative marketing and potentially new revenue streams. Think AI-powered interactive virtual tours. Or using AI analysis of shopper data to suggest targeted pop-up shops for a center.
Oh, interesting.
Wulfe could even offer AI-generated trend reports as a service or AI advisory for market entry. Maybe even use AI simulations to optimize the tenant mix in a property for maximum performance.
So not just improving current services, but creating totally new ones. That's powerful. What's the final strategic piece?
Competitive advantage and future-proofing. Simple as that. Being an early, smart adopter sets Wulfe apart. Speed and agility helps them compete. Using cool tech helps attract and keep talent. And fundamentally, it prepares them for future industry shifts. It's about proactively disrupting rather than, being disrupted.
That's a strong set of strategic reasons. But okay, knowing why is one thing. How do they actually do it? The report has a roadmap, right? A phased approach. What's step one?
Phase 1, strategy alignment and prioritization. Get the leadership team on the same page about the AI vision, what they want to achieve. Then, prioritize those use cases, which ones offer the biggest bang for the buck, are easiest to start with, fit the strategy.
Don't try to boil the ocean.
Exactly. Pick 1 or 2 flagship pilots to start. Assign an internal AI champion to push things forward. Talk to the staff early and often. And, critically, figure out if their data is actually ready for AI.
Okay, get the strategy straight, pick the first targets, check the data. What's phase 2?
Pilot projects and quick wins. Actually launch those first 1-2 pilots. Maybe the marketing content generator or the lease summarizer. This is where they might partner with a tech provider, like OMA mentioned in the report.
Build something small first.
Yeah, an iterative approach. Minimum viable solution, test it, get feedback, refine it. Set clear success metrics up front. Have humans check the AI's work initially, human in the loop. And importantly, celebrate the early wins to build momentum.
Test, learn, show value. Makes sense. Phase 3.
Integration and capability building. Okay, the pilot worked.
Yeah.
Now scale it up. Integrate it properly into existing workflows, maybe connect it via APIs to their CRM or property management software.
Betting it into the daily routine.
Right. And this is crucial. Train the staff. Upskill them on using the tools, maybe even basic prompt engineering. Update the standard operating procedures. Address data governance, security, maybe use private AI models for sensitive stuff. Set up monitoring.
Okay, this is where it gets embedded. What's the final phase? Phase 4.
Scaling up and continuous improvement. AI is now just part of how Wulfe operates. Roll out the other prioritized use cases. Keep looking for new ways AI can help. Maybe set up a formal AI governance committee. Keep measuring the impact on KPIs. Get feedback, refine, stay updated on new AI tech. Manage risks proactively.
So it becomes an ongoing process, not a one-off project. The report also mentioned change management stuff, right? The people side.
Super important. Get employees involved early, listen to their concerns. Leadership needs to visibly champion AI. Plan resources for managing the AI tools. Maybe define new roles. The report even shows a sample workflow, like here's how a leasing deal might look with AI helping out at different stages, showing that human-AI collaboration.
That framework seems really practical. Now, the report mentions this company, OMA, as a potential partner. What exactly can they do to help Wulfe?
OMA is presented as a strategic partner that knows both AI and how to implement it in businesses. They can help Wulfe right from the start, refining the AI strategy, picking use cases, setting those success metrics.
So helping with that crucial phase 1 planning. What else?
Custom AI development. Building models tailored to Wulfe, maybe that Wulfe GPT trained on their internal data, setting up secure data pipelines to feed those models.
Okay, so building the actual tools and connecting them to Wulfe's current systems.
Yep, AI integration. Using APIs to plug the AI into their existing software property management, CRM, so it feels seamless for the users.
What about that chatbot use case?
OMA offers a full solution for that.
Yeah.
Building it, customizing it with Wulfe's info and brand, setting up multi-channel support, monitoring it, tweaking it.
And the data side, AI needs good data, right?
Absolutely. OMA can help with data prep, maybe digitizing old documents, cleaning data, structuring it so the AI can use it effectively, plus setting up data governance rules.
And training Wulfe's team, getting people comfortable.
Yeah, user training and change management support, custom training sessions, maybe a train-the-trainer model so Wulfe builds internal expertise, helping with internal communications about the changes.
So it's not just tech setup, it's ongoing support too.
Right. ongoing support and optimization, monitoring performance, retraining models, applying updates, advising on new AI developments, basically acting as a long-term AI partner.
It definitely sounds like they cover the whole life cycle, from strategy to long-term operation.
They do. And the report stresses their collaborative approach working with Wulfe's team. Plus, combining that deep real estate knowledge with the AI tech skills is key. It ensures the solutions are practical and solve Wulfe's actual business problems. The report gives examples for each of those 5 use cases, showing how OMA could specifically help.
Well, this has been incredibly illuminating, a real deep dive into how generative AI could genuinely reshape things for a company like Wulfe and Co. and maybe the whole retail real estate sector. As we wrap up, what are the main things you want listeners to take away?
I think the core message from the report is the sheer opportunity here. It's not just tech for tech's sake. It's about blending Wulfe's decades of expertise with AI's power, and the potential results are pretty compelling. Faster leasing, lower costs, maybe even totally new services driven by AI insights.
Yeah, it paints a really interesting picture of an AI-augmented future for established firms.
It really does. But, the report is also realistic. It stresses that you need a thoughtful plan, phased rollout, managing the change, training people, watching the risks. It all matters. But these are solvable problems, especially with a clear roadmap and maybe the right partners.
So, thinking about the report's strategic next steps, what's the final message for everyone listening today?
Taking inspiration from Wolf's potential journey, we'd really encourage you, the listener, to think about AI in your own work. What are those repetitive tasks that eat up your time? What complex data could you analyze better or faster with AI's help?
That's a great point. The principles apply way beyond just real estate.
For sure. So maybe the final thought to leave you with is this. What new levels of efficiency or innovation or even client happiness could you unlock if you started strategically bringing intelligent automation into your world? Definitely something to think about.